This video is going to be a film study look at the Ravens' opening drive in their Thursday Night Football win over the Bengals in Week 11. Of course, this is the 7th time on an opening drive this season that the Ravens have scored out of 11 games. 6 touchdowns and 1 field goal. I think that's pretty incredible for us to continually get up on top of teams or at least match the opening score. Like, for example, on the road in Arizona where they went down and scored on us and we match them immediately. Gets the offense off to a good start. We did score 21 points in the first half against the Bengals, so some of that narrative that I've seen out there on social media that the Bengals defense fell apart after Joe Burrow was ruled out. I didn't think he was ruled out until halftime. At least the stream that I was watching that I'm aware of, he wasn't ruled out until halftime. I know that the backup quarterback did come in and play late second quarter. I think this drive shows some smooth integration of option concepts and at least one somewhat new formation. Also, really quick transitions between personnel groups. Our 12 personnel group particularly, I'm interested now that Andrews unfortunately is lost for the season, that the usage of Kolar and Likely together. I wonder what this is going to do to Ricard snaps. Are we going to see more Ricard with Likely and Kolar sliding over to be in Andrews' place? I feel like that kind of makes sense. Another unbalanced touchdown run by Gus to cap the drive. And I have to credit our offensive staff and our players for the ability to adapt quickly after the Andrews injury in our unbalanced configuration, which will be the final 2 plays of this film study. So let's get this one going. First one will be 21 personnel. Ricard and Andrews on the field's pro slot formation, play action. Bengals are in their 4-3 alignment. They do a nice job. They always have done a nice job, if you ask me, of going from 4-3 to 3-4 at different times in terms of their personnel configuration. When they did have Sam Hubbard before, they would be in a 3-4 configuration with Hubbard here, Hendrickson here, and only 2 inside linebackers. In this case, they've got 3 inside linebackers, so you got a 4-3 configuration. Andrews going to run the out after the play fake by Lamar. This inside linebacker steps up just a little bit such that Lamar's got a nice window to layer this throw over the top. You can see that there's a clear out route down at the bottom side of the field. I think we've just got the Bengals in one of their quarters or split field coverages. Throws it over the top for 14 yards to Andrews. Nice touch, if you ask me, by Lamar. 21 personnel again, Andrews and Ricard down at the bottom side of the screen. So twin wing initially. And then we motion over to trips closed, which everybody and their mother on defense knows at this point is run to the trip side. Whether it's in pistol, whether it's in shotgun or under center. In this case, it's outside zone to Gus, not much there. DJ Reader is actually able to fold over the top of one of his own defensive linemen. I'll show you the end zone angle of this one in a moment so you can see what I'm talking about. He actually folds over the top of one of his own defensive linemen because Simpson has won so cleanly on his guy, Linderbaum, who's trying to overtake DJ Reader, which has got a difficult task because Reader's in like a 1 technique. I don't know how you reach a guy like that when he's in a 1, but let's get the end zone angle so you can see what I'm talking about. Simpson's going to win against his guy once they push him down. And then what that does is Reader and Linderbaum actually run into Hendrickson. You can see Hendrickson's kind of stabbed inside, at least in terms of his helmet, he's lost. And then because of that leverage, that contact by Hendrickson, Reader's going to be able to fold over the top and be clean here. McCarry's out on Wilson pretty good. And then Reader is clean, able to fold over the top. Kind of an unusual thing. You don't see that often. Creates a 2nd and 9. Twin slot out of 12 personnel. Andrews and Likely is on the field up at the top side together. Bengals have matched with their nickel personnel, even though it's 12 personnel. They're playing the down and distance. And I like what we've done. We've attacked their man coverage. They play a lot of man free. So we're clearing out that middle part of the field with Gus a little bit late. And the Bengals are giving so much attention to Andrews here that once Zay brings this route back into the middle of the field, he loses DJ Turner, and additionally, the middle of the field is cleared open because one of the inside linebackers is playing Gus, and the other one is helping basically combo or bracket Andrews. Wide open space in the middle of the field. Excellent play call, excellent route design, if you ask me, and great job by Lamar to get that thing out to Zay. End zone angle, same play. You can see Gus motioned in. Wilson's going to take him. Pratt is going to veer off to the right-hand side of our screen to help out with Andrews. Lamar had the pocket bearing down on him. The guys did a pretty good job for a little bit of time. Then Zay's able to beat Turner pretty badly, and then likely basically decks Turner with his back. Pretty unfortunate for DJ Turner on that play. So this is the new formation I'm talking about, the integration of the option game. We threw to Andrews for 14 yards, and then we hit Flowers for 33. Come back, very next play, and you can see we've changed personnel groups. So we've got Ricard off the field, Keaton Mitchell on the field, Gus off. 2 receivers here, 1 receiver and tight end, so we're in 11 personnel. And the Bengals have to match this wide flex alignment, almost like stacked twins down here. You got to match it with at least 2. One of the reasons why man-free can be so helpful and sometimes can be a detriment, because in the box right now, just sheer numbers-wise, it's 7 on 6. People are willing to live with that generally, but this is a great either play call by Monken or dual play call, I suspect, that perhaps Lamar had the ability to call a play or call the option read play. And you can see that we've isolated the D end here, even though we're not getting any blocking down at the bottom side of the screen because Hilton is inside leverage, so it's impossible to get to him. Lamar's able to keep it for, I think, a 7-yard gain. I like integrating the option once per drive. I'm not talking about every drive. You know how we have those, I think it's the 4th drive twice recently, once against the Seahawks, and I forget who the other team was, where it was the Lions at home 2 weeks earlier. We just suddenly go into this run first mode and we utilize the option. I like integrating it into these possessions where we're throwing the ball and we're not relying on it overly so. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. So now we've got a 2nd and 3. Keaton Mitchell is going to run a counter play, supposed to be to the top side of the screen. The offense is left. He ends up cutting it back to the right because Mark Andrews gets beat so badly. I wonder if we should just be cutting here. He's got a defensive end that he's dealing with, who's just going to run him down into the play because we're pulling the guard and the tackle around. So Andrews has got to deal with this DN, and he just can't hold him off at all. I don't think it's great effort, to be honest with you. Were it not for that DN being in the play, we probably still have a problem because DJ Reader is beating Linderbaum to the play side here, to the top side. I don't give you the end zone angle, but I'll pause it a little bit so you can see it. We might still have a problem if that D end isn't there, but if we do a better job with Andrews, maybe cut that guy on the backside, we've at least got a chance for Keaton Mitchell to cut something or bounce it out further than DJ Reader can take him on. So anyway, that was a 2nd and 3. 1-yard loss on the play, 3rd and 4, and Lamar's going to scramble against what I consider to be a zone by the Bengals. I love how he faked the throw during this play. Now, his slide still has to have a little bit of work, if you ask me, but you can see that we've got no one open here. Lamar's looking for a place to go. I think we've got Ricard up here at the top side. I could be wrong. It's an empty concept. We did come back to the same thing later on and hit Keaton Mitchell on this same route to the bottom side of the screen. I'll let it flow through one more time so you can see it. Obviously, this converts to 3rd and 4 for us, an 8-yard gain by Lamar. We came right back to this later on in the game. I think it was 4th quarter. Keaton Mitchell out into the flats, ended up being an 8-yard gain. I think on a drive we scored a touchdown on 3rd or 4th quarter. All eyes on Lamar right now, playing zone, 4-man rush. I feel like this is earlier in the game when Hendrickson was really giving McCarry some issues. You can see Hendrickson's complaining about a possible hold. So that gives us a 1st and 10. Clearly, this is the play that Mark Andrews gets hurt on. I really don't want to show it more than once. However, I do like the route combination. Very similar to the missed touchdown opportunity in Week 5 last year against the Bengals when this was Tylan Wallace and Andrews was the guy going in motion. So I'll peel this back because I really don't feel like seeing the hit, to be honest with you. From the standpoint of Andrew, if you remember that play, it was a 4th and 1. Andrews did a fake tight end sneak and then ran out into the flats. Tylan Wallace ran one of these and ended up being open. Very similar conceptually to that play, except this time Zay Flowers is the guy run out into the flats. There was no fake tight end sneak. Andrews is running a little snag. So you got a snag with a vertical by Bateman that kind of holds these two guys. And Mike Hilton's doing the same exact thing on this play that he did on that same 4th and 1. I actually showed this in the preview last week. He's doing the exact same thing. It's so interesting. He's trying to get into the window and not give Lamar anywhere to throw the ball. Well, unfortunately for him, Lamar's got 2 options to throw the ball, finds Andrews open on the snag. It's so interesting to me when teams run the same concept or the same play against the same opponent 2 years in a row. We lose Andrews on that play, clearly sucked the life out of the stadium, and then we come right back in 11 personnel, hurry up, unbalanced. You knew that we were going unbalanced when we break the huddle like this and get up to the line super fast. It doesn't work out in this regard. I do enjoy likely here getting off the ball and getting after, I think it's Pratt, but we've gone unbalanced because we've got guard, tackle, and then tackle. You can kind of see Macari's helmet down there. And the Bengals in this case have matched it and, of course, stopped it. I do look for us on this unbalanced stuff to get more situations where we're booting Lamar out, make someone have to go chase him, and just take it to the pylon. 11 personnel unbalanced doesn't work in this regard on the 1st and goal. From the 3. Actually, it's a 2nd and 1. My apologies, that converted. This is 1st and goal from the 3. Same situation. Hurry up, except now we've gone 12 personnel. So I give credit to our offensive staff and our players that we were able to. You would have to imagine that Andrews is in on this prior to the injury, of course, and then Kolar gets in. It's basically bunch is all it is, except Macari, the right tackle, or the left tackle, is the point man in the bunch. Imagine our typical bunch formation. That's how we run pin, pull, pitch. So we're pulling the same guys we normally do. Likely is going to pull after Macari's pinned down. Moses is going to pull, and then Linderbaum is also going to pull. He kind of makes contact with Wilson. Zay, unfortunately, is just not able to hold Logan Wilson off at all with the contact. Wilson just pretty much, runs right through it, but Gus has enough leverage down. It's a downhill play. I think the pitch could be a little bit better in this case to get Gus a little bit more horizontal, or lateral, I should say. End zone angle, same play. Let it flow through a couple times so you can see how quickly we get to the line, how little time the Bengals have to identify it. They have to have some. What I really love about this is we're not reporting anyone as eligible. Remember earlier in the season, we were using Falele as the 6th offensive lineman. I call it like Jumbo 12, stuff, or Jumbo 22. We don't have to do that now. So the defense doesn't get a heads up. Hey, there's an extra blocker on the field. This is just a typical formation call, 12 personnel. The only difference is we're lining up unbalanced. I'm really interested to see if we ever do get to the point where we're doing anything different out of it other than running to the unbalanced side. I think one time this year we have run away from the unbalanced side. So pin down block by Macari. Zay is supposed to get Logan Flowers. Very difficult, obviously, for him to do. Likely wrapping around. Moses also wrapping around, and then Linderbaum's quick enough that he can wrap around as well. He just can't get to Logan Wilson good enough because Wilson goes underneath of Zay's block. Zay's giving it all he's got. He's just physically outmanned there. It's a total mismatch. And then Gus punches it in the end zone. Yeah, the Bengals are able to come back and get a 10-7 lead in the second quarter. Burrow had a great drive on their 4th possession. This drive, when you watch this drive and you kind of compare it to our other 2 scoring drives in the second quarter, they're essentially the same. Things look the same. Balanced play calling, ability to throw the ball, run the ball as we wish, and then line up an unbalanced and punch the Bengals in the mouth. Look, the Bengals are a superbly well-coached defensive team. I have maintained for the last 2.5, 3 years that they do a lot of things that I'll be up front. I don't even really understand some of the calls that they do. I don't even understand some of the rationale. I just think they're incredibly smart, and the players adjust well on the field. This particular Bengals defense, twice, we have put up a lot of yards on them and been very efficient and not turned the football over at all. Even in a game when we didn't have Ronnie Stanley to deal with Hendrickson, and we all know that Ronnie Stanley wasn't playing to the level that we would hope that he could if he was 100% healthy, we were able to score 34 points on this football team. 21 points in the first half, 3 touchdown drives. Very clearly, Todd Monken and the offensive guys had a great game plan, number one. Number two, we had run and pass concepts that complemented each other, and we were able to exploit a lot of the things the Bengals did, particularly their man-free defense. You guys let me know if you're as impressed with our first drive play calling and game planning, I guess I should say. 6 touchdowns in 11 games on our first possession of the game and 1 field goal. I'm not sure what other teams have in terms of those numbers. That seems quite high to me. My guess is that would probably be top 5 in the league, top 7, somewhere around there, but I have no idea exactly. But anytime you can get ahead 7-0 or get a touchdown on your first possession, you've put the defense on the back foot. And got to give credit to Todd Monken, T. Martin, Lamar, the offensive staff and players. They continue to put defenses backwards and score early in games to get us out to a lead. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section. If you think other Ravens fans would appreciate this look, this possession-style video of the Ravens' first drive, a touchdown cap by another unbalanced touchdown run by Gus, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.